welcome to Adelaide.
Thank you, lovely to be here. Hello.
Now, the film, Resurrecting Steve.
Yes.
The Wog Boy.wmv.
Yes.
Was that something you intended all along, or was it something that came about bold blue?
I definitely wasn't thinking about doing a sequel. I was developing I've been developing this film, the King of Mykonos, since mid-90s when I first went to Mykonos, and I just fell in love with the island, and I got to meet some terrific characters. In particular, one guy who boasted about sleeping with 43 women in one summer. I met, people that I thought would work really well in a movie. So I didn't really think much more about it. I just made a lot of mental notes and spoke to my writing partner, Kosta Jaric, about it, and we just started to develop some ideas. And then we sort of got caught up with Wog Boy, and then another film after that, and then something else after that. So in late 2005, we sort of came back to it, and we've pretty much been in development on it since then.
Right.
Yeah, so the script probably took about 5 years. Yeah. And it wasn't, even at that stage, we still weren't thinking about it as a Wog Boy sequel. We only started thinking about it as a sequel in 2008. Yeah. Because we actually decided, I just had this idea one day that it would actually be a stronger film if it became a sequel, if it actually became Steve and Frank's journey. Because the film was about a guy from a migrant background, or whose parents were migrants, going back to their country for the first time. And that happens a lot in these days all over the world, whether you're American, Canadian, and that's what I see on the islands. I see a lot of Greek kids going back there, going there for the first time and experiencing that unique thing of like, okay, so I'm a wog back home and I come here and I'm a kangaruda. So exactly where do I fill in? So it's that whole thing of displacement, which is what drew me to the storyline. And as you would have noticed in the film, you've seen the film, yeah? Yeah. We only actually, the word wog only really comes up once, when the guy playing my cousin Zimmy asks me what is a wog, and I explain it's the Aussies use that it's a word the Aussies use to insult us, and he said, so now you insult yourself. I go, yeah. He goes, bravo. So that's the thrust of it. You've got and it resonates with a lot of people in Australia. A lot of people get it. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do.
The Pontiac. Was that already on the island?
Well, it was really hard. We rode the Pontiac. I wanted a big American muscle car.
Yeah.
I wanted Steve to find his uncle's car and then sort of do it up. Because he loses his valiant, so it was really nice for him to find something else. And I'm sorry if I'm spoiling. This is spoiler alert, everyone. So just don't listen if you don't want me to spoil it. But it's great because actually, without spoiling that scene, it's one of my favourite scenes when he actually, if you remember, when he first finds the car, and that whole thing that happens. It's actually very funny, and I've watched it in previews, and people really like it. But there's something about a man in his car, or a wog boy in his car, which is kind of quite unique. But it was that particular car in the film, I always wondered how the guy who owned it, who lived in Athens, ever drove it around. Because if you've ever been to Athens, it's really tiny streets, you can't even get through. I mean, and this thing is a beast. This Pontiac in the film is, it's about the size of this room. So I'm thinking, it's probably the most impractical car you could ever have in Athens. But he had it.
I have to say, I don't know if I've ever seen a more attractive ensemble cast in a film. And
you're not just talking about Nick, Vincent and Alex, are you?
No, that's right.
Yeah. Well, it's Mykonos, it's one of the most cosmopolitan, it's the island of the beautiful, the beautiful people. And, we really needed to, convey that in the film. So, Zeta Makripoulou plays Zoe, and the gorgeous Kosta Jaric plays the Miss Italy character. I mean, they're beautiful women, but Europe has a lot of those women. Casting was really tough. Peter Andrikidis, who went to Rome and did the casting for the Italian actress, just said he just said, what do they put in the water over there? He said every actress, one after the other. I mean, he said it was just, they just got more and more beautiful. He said, just when you thought you'd seen the most beautiful woman in the world, the next one walks in. And, it's just, he says, the best casting session he's ever had. But, we're very lucky to find Cosmo because I think she brings, apart from the beauty, she brings a really beautiful quality to her character.
Here's a question I have to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
How did you get Hercules to be in the film?
Yeah. It's a really difficult part, you know, when you look at it on paper, Pierluigi, late 40s, aging Romeo, who slept with 43 women in 1 month. I mean, you know, you're going to have to cast someone who looks the part, you know. You're going to have to cast someone who looks like a man who could actually physically bed 43 women in a month. I've never even been close to that, but I can imagine it's a very difficult feat. I mean, I was lucky to ever get to 1. Okay, so you know, it was. We had to go out and find the right person, and someone in LA, a casting agent in LA, recommended Kevin. We thought absolutely, you know, all being big Hercules fans. We thought absolutely, Hercules could sleep with 43 women in 1 month. Who wouldn't believe that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's a question which I've been asked to ask you. It's an important question. A lot of people need to know the answer to. But your personal opinion as to who is hotter between Vince Cosmo and Alex Dimitriades?
I'd sleep with both of them.
Both.
Not an issue for me.
No.
You know, Alex and Vince are incredibly good-looking men, and I hate their guts for it. Bastards. Nah, they're great guys too. They're good mates of mine, and you know, let's just say there's a lot of eye candy in this film, and then there's me, and the goat and the donkey. You know, we make up the other group. But, you know, hey, we all do our bit.
It's quite distinct from the first one.
Yeah.
And but on its own.
Yeah.
Not considering it as a sequel, it's yeah.
Well, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to, because the film's going to be known as just the Kings of Mykonos overseas. That's what we wanted. We wanted to just stand alone as a film. We wanted it to stand on its own legs. The word Wog overseas in some countries is totally different here, and you know, just unusable. I mean, in England, I think it refers to people, you know, of West Indian descent or Pakistani descent or Indian. So it's actually really bad over there. I mean, we've had the first film's played on the BBC in England, and when they show it, they actually are not allowed by law to mention the word Wog. So, you know, the announcers who come on TV, you know, he just says, and coming up next, a great Australian comedy, and that's it. He never gives the title because he's legally not allowed to. It's considered it's one of those banned words over there. So it doesn't really help when you release a film called The Wog Boy. They're like, what? You know, it's interesting. That's that cultural thing, you know. What means one thing here means something completely different somewhere else. So yeah, you know, so we were very conscious of that, and we just felt we had a film here that could travel internationally, you know, that could stand on its own 2 legs. And I'm happy that it can do both. I'm happy that it can work both as a sequel and as a standalone film. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Yeah.